Assalamu students, today we are going to start a new topic, that is calcification. It is an important topic, calcification. Last time we have discussed the necrosis, what are the different types of the necrosis. Now after necrosis, the next step is the calcification. Once the cell has died and it has undergone enzymatic digestion, now the calcification process starts to occur. What is calcification? Calcification basically is the deposition of the calcium salts along with some iron, magnesium to the side of a body, to any part of the body. And this deposition is always abnormal. Deposition of abnormal calcium salts. This is the calcification. Now this calcification basically is of two types. One is the dystrophic calcification and the other is the metastatic calcification. We will discuss it in the details, both the topics, very important. First is the dystrophic calcification. Dystrophic, and the second one is the metastatic. Now both calcification are the abnormal deposition of the calcium in the body, in any part of the body, and the calcium, these are the calcium salts which along with the calcium also has some quantity of the iron, magnesium or the other salts. Therefore the major component is the calcium, but along with the calcium there could be some quantity of the other minerals as well, like calcium, like magnesium or the iron. The dystrophic calcification and the metastatic calcification. What is the difference between these two calcification? First we will discuss the dystrophic calcification. Dystrophic calcification is a calcification which occurs in the dead or the dying tissue, clear, or the necrotic tissue. It occurs in the necrotic tissue. Dead or necrotic tissue. Therefore, the body organ which has undergo death, yeah, they usually have the dystrophic calcification. And the very important part of this dystrophic calcification is that the calcium level in the body is normal. Yeah, it is normal in the body. Calcium metabolism is normal in the body. This is the main difference between the dystrophic and the metastatic calcification. In the dystrophic calcification, the calcium metabolism is normal, the calcium level in the body is normal. However, the calcium starts to deposit in the necrotic tissue, in the dead tissue. This is the dystrophic calcification. Now, basically, in which type of the necrosis this calcification occurs? In any type of the necrosis, this could take place. It could be in coagulative necrosis, it could be in liquefactive necrosis, fat necrosis, or caseous necrosis. All the type of necrosis ultimately could lead to the calcification. It ultimately, when the calcium starts to deposit at the dead site, the organ which was a semi-solid or the liquid form, liquefactive necrosis, which is a liquid, it converts into a solid structure. Sometime when there is a tuberculous lymphadenopathy of any lymph node in the body, lymph node, as you know, is an organ which is a soft organ. If the calcification takes place in the organ, it ultimately converted into a stone. Yeah? A normal body structure is converted into a hard stony organ. This is the effect of the calcification in the body. Yeah? This dystrophic calcification, what is the mechanism of this dystrophic calcification? I will tell you it in detail. Basically, whenever there is damage to the cell, as you know, the different enzymes are leaked out from the cell or from the lysosome of the cell. Also, the enzymes of the neutrophils or the macrophages, they contribute to the destruction of the cell. When the cells are destroyed, basically the cell membrane is destroyed, the nuclear membrane is destroyed, all the different membranes of the organisms are destroyed. In the membrane, there is a very important component that is phospholipids. Clear? In the phospholipids, when the enzyme releases the phospholipases, what they do, they basically splits the phospholipids. When the phospholipids are split, the phosphate group from the phospholipid are removed. When this phosphate group is removed, the calcium has got a natural affinity for the phosphate group. Therefore, the calcium in the body, which is present in the serum of the body, it is circulating with the blood in the plasma of the body. It starts to go to the side of the injured tissue. When it goes to the injured tissue and the phosphate group is already present there, this calcium combines with the phosphate group to form a calcium phosphate. Clear? This calcium phosphate is a single, is initially a very small molecule. Ultimately, what happens? The cells combines the different calcium salts accumulate at that point, at that nidus. Clear? That is called the epithelium. This is the one point in which the calcium phosphate is formed. Now the calcium phosphate starts to accumulate at that side. Ultimately, there is an accumulation of the calcium phosphate, and ultimately this is the calcium from the body is coming to the site of that injury. The phosphate is already present there because of the enzyme phosphatase, which releases the phosphate group from the phospholipid of the membrane. Now the phosphate is already available, calcium starts to attract that side, and that at that point calcium phosphate is formed. From that calcium phosphate single molecule, different molecules starts to accumulate at that site, and ultimately the calcium starts to accumulate, and finally the organ is covered with the whole calcium, and this is called the dystrophic calcification. Clear? Now this dystrophic calcification ultimately, as I told you, make the organ hard and stony. If we see it under the with the naked eye, we see a small crystalline whitish gritty appearance structures. As you, if you feel the sugar tubes in your palm, you feel a gritty feeling. Similarly, when there is a calcification in the organ, when you touch the organ, you feel a gritty feeling. There is hard and the gritty feeling which you see at the side of that organ where there is calcification. Clear? There are the fine white granules at the side of that calcification. Also, when you see it with your naked eye, you see a white crystalline structures at that side. Clear? This is how we see it with the naked eye, and under the microscope, obviously these they appear to be the bluish color if it is stained with the Giemsa stain, or it is H&E stain. We see it as a bluish macro size globules at the site of that injury, at the site of that necrosis. Clear? So this is the dystrophic calcification. It can take place in any part of the body provided if this is damaged, the organ is damaged. It does not take place in the normal tissue. Dystrophic calcification always takes place in the dead or the dying tissue which has undergone the necrotic process. And as I have told you, what happens in the necrotic process? In the necrotic process, phosphate is available at that site because of the release from the phospholipid membrane, which is part of the membrane. Phosphatases remove the phosphate group, calcium attached with the phosphate. It has got a natural affinity for the phosphate. Calcium phosphate group is formed. This is basically a new structure, that the calcium phosphate salt that is deposited at that site, and then all the different calcium starts to come to that site and ultimately form a new calcium phosphate crystal, and ultimately they start to accumulate in that dead cell or the dead tissue, and the dead tissue is converted into the calcium phosphate stone like structure, gritty structure. Clear? The level of the calcium in the body remains always the normal, but calcium starts to deposit at that site because of the affinity of the calcium for the phosphate. This is all about the dystrophic calcification. It could take place any part of the body provided that part of the body is basically dead or dying. Now, the second type of the calcification is the metastatic calcification. Metastatic calcification is opposite to the dystrophic calcification. In the metastatic calcification, it usually takes place in the normal tissue. Normal tissue. Then why it takes place in the normal tissue? What happens to the body that it starts to accumulate calcium in the normal tissue because the level of the calcium in the body is increased. Basically, calcium metabolism is problematic. there is problem with the calcium metabolism of the body and the level of the calcium is increased. Now as we know that the different things have when accumulated in the body, the excess quantity can lead to the damage to the body, like a sugar. If someone has an increased sugar level, he or she could have a diabetes. All the components are beneficial for the body if they are in the optimal amount, in the optimal range. When they exceed or when they decrease from the normal range, if the body starts to function abnormally. Similarly, when the calcium level of the body is increased, then the calcium ultimately has to go somewhere. Then what happens, the calcium starts to deposit in the different parts of the body. When it starts to deposit different parts of the body, ultimately there is the calcification to the organ of the body, and that leads to the metastatic calcification. Clear? Now this, why basically the calcium metabolism become abnormal and the calcium starts to deposit in the body? There are certain mechanisms by which the calcium could increase in the body. One of the very important reasons being the hyperparathyroidism. Parathyroid hormone, as you know, is secreted from the parathyroid gland. A parathyroid gland is present on the upper surface of the adrenal gland. This parathyroid hormone basically controls the calcium level of the body. Clear? It controls the calcium level of the body by increased absorption from the gut or from the increased absorption from the bones. It controls the calcium in the body. If it is increased in the quantity, the more calcium will be absorbed in the body and the level of the calcium will be increased. Why this hormone could be increased? There could be some problem in the hormone itself, in the gland itself, that it has got some tumor. The tumor of the gland can lead to the increased production of the parathyroid gland, and then this parathyroid hormone ultimately causes the increased absorption of the calcium, and level of the calcium could be increased. Yeah? So therefore the first very important cause of the increased calcium in the body is the increased parathyroid hormone, and this increased parathyroid hormone ultimately increases the calcium level of the body. When the calcium level of the body is increased, this calcium starts to deposit in different organ of the body and damages the organs where it is deposited in the extra quantity. I will tell you later how the body is affected by this increased calcium level when it is deposited in the normal tissues. Now the second is the increased bone destruction. There are certain diseases, as you know, the major bulk of the calcium is present in the bones. The bones are hard because of the calcium in them. The calcium made them solid organ. Clear? A hard stiff organ. When the calcium is there, as we know, the calcium is majority of the calcium is in the bone, and when the bones are destroyed, what happens that due to the destruction of the bone, the calcium is released from the bony tissue, and then it starts to travel in the blood through the plasma and goes to the different sides of the organ. There are certain diseases which could lead to the destruction of the bone, like multiple myeloma is a condition in which the bone is destroyed by the myeloma cells. These are type of the abnormal cancer cells which basically destroy the bone. Similarly, some metastatic disease, some cancer which ultimately goes to the bone, into the bone, and in the bone, when these cancer cells destroy the bone, when the bones are destroyed, the calcium is released. This calcium when is released, it now circulates in the blood, and through the blood it reaches to a different organ of the body, and due to the deposition of the calcium to the different organ of the body, there is a deposition and ultimately calcification to that organ. Therefore, second very important cause is the bone destruction, hyperparathyroidism, bone destruction, vitamin D abnormalities. Vitamin D, as you know, is very important for the absorption and for the metabolism of the calcium in the body, because normal absorption is dependent on the vitamin D. If the vitamin D is not present, the calcium will not be absorbed. This vitamin D become activated when we are exposed, when our skin is exposed to the sunlight. Yes, it forms the activated form of the vitamin D. It helps in the absorption of the calcium. If this vitamin D is large, is increased in the body, that is called a vitamin D intoxication. If somebody is taking very high quantity of the vitamin D, ultimately what happens, the vitamin D will help to absorb more calcium in the body, and the more calcium in the body leads to the hypercalcemia in the body. Clear? Therefore, there are certain mechanism by which this vitamin D could be increased in the body, and whenever there is increase in the vitamin D of the body, ultimately we have more calcium in the body, and more calcium ultimately more absorption of the calcium, and more absorption of calcium leads to the increased calcium level of the body, of the serum, or when the calcium level of the body is increased, ultimately this increased calcium will start to deposit in the organs and ultimately causes the calcification. Other very important cause of the vitamin of the hypercalcemia is the renal failure. This basically affects the calcium metabolism by the mechanism that whenever there is renal failure, the phosphate is retained in the body. Due to the increased retention of the phosphate, what happens? There is increased parathyroid hormone secretion. Clear? When there is increased parathyroid hormone secretion, ultimately it starts to increase the calcium absorption of the body. Therefore, indirectly, renal failure could lead to the hypercalcemia, and that leads to the calcification of the body. Clear? These are the important causes which ultimately leads to the calcification in the body, and this calcification takes place in different parts of the body and causes problem in the body. Like you must have heard that the person has got the renal stones, calcium stones in the renal tubules. Why they produce? Because the calcium level was increased in the serum, and the calcium starts to deposit at that site, and ultimately from a single calcium phosphate molecule, ultimately more molecules starts to accumulate and form a stone in the renal pelvis. Similarly, someone can also have stones in the gallbladder as well. The different organs will produces the acidic secretion, like gastric mucosa. They also could have the stones in them. They all tissue ultimately leads to the calcification and the abnormality of the tissue. The stone in the renal is called the nephrocalcinosis. This nephrocalcinosis is the calcium stones in the kidney. Similarly, gallstone in the gallbladder. Clear? These all are the causes of the increased calcium level of the body, and the level of the increased level of calcium is because of these important causes that leads to the increased calcium level and causes the abnormality in the body. There is also another condition in which the calcium could be increased, that is milk alkali syndrome. Milk alkali syndrome is usually seen in those people who take a lot of milk, whose diet is totally dependent on the milk products, milk or the milk products. Milk alkali syndrome. In the Africa and in Sahara areas, people usually take milk as a primary source of their diet. As you know, the milk has got a lot of calcium in it, and when the primary source of their food is the milk, they take milk day and night. All the time they are taking the milk because of the cattle they have in the deserts or in those hard area where there is no crops available or no meat available. They take milk all the time. Because of taking milk all the time, they are taking calcium in large quantity in the body. When the calcium is taken in a large quantity, more calcium is going to be absorbed in the body, and the more calcium absorbed could lead to the hypercalcemia, and that leads to the calcification of the body. This is a topic, important topic from an examination point of view. Also, I ask question in the Viva about this calcification. What is difference between metastatic calcification, dystrophic calcification? Why the metastatic calcification takes place? What are the causes of the metastatic calcification? I hope I give you a brief knowledge of this topic. If you have any question, you can ask me. Clear? The next topic will be the pigmentation, and after pigmentation, our first chapter will be inshallah completed. Thank you very much.